Hey, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and open us a word of prayer, and then it's on. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of fun stuff to talk about, so let's go ahead and pray. Dear guys, I just want to thank you so much for who you are, Lord, and I'm so excited for another year to be able to just get away and get on these rapids, Lord. I pray for these students, Lord, that it would be an incredible time for them. As they get away, Lord, would you just work in their lives? Would you grow them, Lord? I pray for our parents. There's some that are really excited their students are leaving, and there's some that are very, very nervous, Lord. We just pray for the ones that are scared or nervous. Would you calm their nerves? And would you use today's meeting to help them feel really, really comfortable so now they're really excited to say, get out of here. So, Lord, we just pray for that. We love in your name. Amen. For those that don't know me, my name is Travis Seibert. I'm the junior high pastor here. And just to give you some context on this trip is I have been going on this trip. This is my 22nd year going on this same exact trip. And when you throw in, we go now twice a year, and there's been a lot of times where we sprinkle that in. I think I'm approaching that high 30s of trips I've gone on. In fact, I've gone so many trips that I am now officially a licensed guide with them. And because I know the rapids better than almost all the guides there. I think there's only 2 people that know it better than me. So your son and daughter go on a trip that we are very experienced. We have gone through every little thing you can imagine. We've experienced it. And so hopefully that's a little bit to help make you feel comfortable. The reason why we go whitewater rafting is there's something about getting away, getting to a place that your students are away from electronics, they're away from just the normal pace of life where God can actually start to do something. It forces them to start to bond with certain students they might not have gotten an opportunity to get to know. It forces them to get to know our leaders. In fact, the 2-day trip, it takes us 2 days to get up there, 2 days to get back. We have found the 2 days is almost perfect for this type of trip because I have talked to adults, and there's a lot of them say that it takes them 1 to 2 days to decompress and now be ready to actually experience a trip. So those of you that do weekend trips, it stings because you just finally got there and finally got decompressed and then you went home. There's something about that, and so our students kind of get through that, and then all of a sudden, boom, now they can experience. And then also the whitewater part, it's a little of that excitement that made them want to go take this challenge on. And so there's just something neat about us getting away. It is amazing. For those of you that are like, and we're going to talk more about us getting footage and stuff like that, I want to make a quick announcement that's coming up. And so since I have a lot of your attention is on August 14th, we are having something called a parent T&L. We've done them the last 2 or 3 years now, and they're pretty amazing. And it's where we actually invite you parents to come to T&L. Some of you are like, why do my students drag me and make me bring them? What do you guys do there? Are you giving them some special candy or something to get them to want to come? No, we'll come experience. You will get to experience why they love it. And this is our first one ever where we are not doing, the last few years or 3 years, we've done a program more for you parents where you've gotten to see a little glimpse. No, we're like, you're getting thrown in the small groups. You're going to be playing the games with us. Like, it's going to be full on T&L style that you're going to experience. It's going to be fun. And to make it even better is that's when we're going to watch the Whitewater recap video. So if you're like, well, I want to see the video. Well, sorry, you got to come to the parent T&L, okay? So it's on August 14th. We have a thing right there. But a couple things I want to do is, first thing is this, I want to help you feel comfortable about this whitewater rafting thing. Some of you or parents are like, I can't believe I'm sending my son or daughter away from me for 7 to 8 days. They've never been gone before, and then they're going whitewater rafting, and they're probably going to go on some crazy rapids, and I'm going to be scared every day they're going to die. And it's like, no, that's not going to happen, okay? We are going on something called a Class 3 river. Okay? A Class 3 river, to give you context, a waterfall would be a 6, okay? And then very technical is 5, where you got to wear helmets, and it can be dangerous, but people do it a lot, and so it's not impossible. I've been on some Class 5s, and you got Class 4s that are also technical, and you would normally want to wear a helmet, but they're a little more technical, and still our junior hires could do a Class 4 river. We're doing a Class 3. In fact, each day there's only one true Class 3 rapid on that stretch. So most of it is fairly chill. In fact, what I like to say is, and to give you some context, is I could put my life vest on and start up on day 1 and float all 3 days with no raft, just me and my life vest, and my butt would be hurting really bad. I would have a lot of, maybe some scratches, bumps, and bruises, but I would survive. There's nothing on there that if your student falls off on this one exact place, they're not going to make it, no. So it's just scary enough on some of these rapids that the students are like, crud, I don't want us to fall out. And then there's a lot of parts that are like, please let us fall out because we need to get in the water, okay? And that's most of this trip. And it is just a fun trip that we go on where we get to experience something new and then get away and experience God. And so it's just a great trip. It's a lot of fun. It is exciting for us. Now, what I want to do is you're going to have to go on your second page on the inside is the itinerary. I'm going to go through that real quick with you. You get to take this home, parents. So guess what? It's all there. I will apologize to you, but some of those numbers, and we'll get to that. But we didn't give you all the numbers, so that's good because we don't want you calling and bugging us all the time. No, just kidding. No. But we will go through that, okay? But 8th grade, your trip starts on a Saturday morning. 7th grade, yours starts on a Sunday morning. And so I'm going to try to go this a little bit, but might mess up as I'm going back and forth because that can happen to me. Unfortunately, like I'm only one-track brain, and so sometimes going back and forth, I struggle with that. But I will tell you what is similar is you are supposed to be here that morning, whether it's Saturday morning, the 21st for 8th grade, or whether it's Sunday morning, the 29th for 7th grade. We need you here before 7:30. In fact, we'd like you here closer to 7. Our goal is to try to get out of here by 8:15, so we can get on the road, okay? We are going in 15 passenger vans, most of them, and then some trucks and a couple vans to help us to fit all the students going. And we only allow drivers over 25 to drive. Most of them, there are very few that are actually 25. Most of them are in their 40s and 50s that are driving on this trip. And so a lot of them are dads or moms that have been going on this trip. A lot of them are veterans that have been here a long time that are going, and they have to be, for the 15 passenger vans, they have to be a Class B commercial driver on the trip. And so that's always a struggle for me to make sure they get their license and they're set and everything, but we're good to go. But we're going to take off that morning, and just so you know, I don't know on this sheet if I have the check-in procedure, because we will talk through that, but the check-in procedure will be when you show up here that morning, you are going to first go and drop your luggage off in either the guy or girl trailer. Okay, there's a guy and a girl trailer. It's easy, you can ask. And the cool part is on the side of each trailer, there will be these 11 by 17 pieces of paper stuck on one of the sides, and somebody will tell you, and you will be able to find right there what van you're in. Okay? You'll find out what van you're in, and then you're going to go check in by saying, hey, I'm here, and I'm in van this, so they can check you off, because it will help my people checking you in know, oh, van 13, whatever, check you off, because we're taking 165 to the 8th grade trip, and we're going to take about 140 to the 7th grade trip. It's a lot of people. So you're going to do that, and then immediately, if I were you, I would now go find my van, put my backpack in there, and find my seat. And yes, there's going to be fighting over who wants this seat, whatever, but that's part of the journey and a part of the fun. And then you'll just chill and wait till everyone's here, till every name is crossed off the list. Then we'll do a couple things, and we'll take off, okay? So that is that first morning. We are heading up to the Sacramento area. 8th grade is going to a church called Bayside Church. It's right off the 80 freeway. It's East 80. It's probably about 15 to 25 minutes east of the 5. 7th grade, we are staying at a church called Valley Church. It's in Vacaville, I guess how you say it. And it's west 80. About 30 minutes west, and we're just staying at different churches, and that'll be where we land when we are in the Sacramento area. We'll spend the night there at the church. The next morning we'll get up, and we will take off to what we call Paradise Point. If some of you are like, hey, I'd love to find Paradise Point on Google Maps, you can't find it, okay? It is called, and you can write this down, it is called Cottage Grove. Okay, it's called Cottage Grove, and you can actually find it if you go to the 96 off the 5, we're up at the California-Oregon border, and you start following this river called the Klamath River, and you start going down, you'll see a place called Happy Camp. Happy Camp is a lot easier to find. Happy Camp is about 18 minutes from where we are, and you just follow a little bit down farther, and we're at a place called Cottage Grove. It's been renamed Paradise Point because it's the best property on that stretch, and it's crazy to think, but our rafting company somehow found out that it was a private-owned area, and they bought it. They are the only rafting company on the Klamath River that owns their own property. It's like, I want to say 27 acres. They got $1,000 an acre. It's unbelievable, and that is our resting spot. So for some of you guys thinking, are you guys packing in dry bags? No, because we camp there, and then we shuttle the whole time on the river to the stretches we're going to go on. And that becomes our home base camp. It's amazing. They have a volleyball nets there now. They have horseshoe pits. They have just some really cool areas that we can hang out, some shaded areas. It's just amazing. And they have this beautiful beach, Paradise Point. So if you want to look that up, just so you know, a little side note, that's not on my notes, but I have noticed there are fires. You're like, oh my goodness, there are fires up there. Right now, currently, there is a fire that is, technically it's east of the 5, about 2 or 3 miles north of our put-in. So there's a chance, what I mean that is where we get off the 5 and get on the 96, it's right on there. So there's a chance that on my way up, Adventure Whitewater saying, Trav, you got to take the back road it stinks, but it takes like another extra hour and a half, so that will not be fun. We might be doing that, but we'll see how that goes. There was a very, very, very small fire right when you get on the 96. I think it was about like 10 to 20 miles down. We go about 86 miles down or something like the Cottage Grove. It's right at the beginning, but it looked like it was really small and it looks like it was put out, but we won't know till we get there. There are fires over there. We're in a forest area. We are safe. And if we aren't safe, then they let us know, but they're on top of those things to make sure we are safe when you're up there. So you might hear rumors, I heard there's fires. So we're good. If it's at any time we're worried, then we're just taking off and we'll do plan B, plan C, plan D, and I'll figure it out. Because this is my 22nd year, and we've experienced fires. In fact, we had some really cool fires last year that were amazing, and we got to actually see fires on the ridge while we were chilling, and we had firemen on our property. They said we were completely safe, and we got to stay there, but we got to hang out with firemen for a whole week that were there just in case something happened. They were going to move us the first thing and then take care of the business. So we were good, but I want to let you know, once we get to Paradise Point, Cottage Grove, 7th and 8th grade, you guys will both raft 3 days on the river. We will camp there. 7th grade, once you are done, we will actually leave the next morning and start heading back, stay at Valley Church in Vacaville, and we'll be back by Saturday evening, somewhere between that 5 and 7 range, okay? 8th grade, we will actually stay one more day, and we normally go to a place called Clear Creek, and Clear Creek is amazing, and that's where we do our baptisms, and we take this mile hike from this one place that we go to this beautiful area where we jump off rocks. Well, because of the fires last year that were up there, a lot of trees fell down, and from what I've been told, but I don't know yet, and we'll assess it, there's a chance that it is blocked off a mile or two farther. So now we have to play that by ear. We've had one youth group that did the hike, and it took them a lot longer, and we had another youth group say, no, it was too long. So again, there will be a plan B if something like that happens, but we're hoping that we can go to this cool jumping spot. If not, we will find another jumping spot, and maybe we'll run trips to get ice cream or something, and just to make it fun. And so we'll figure that out. But that'll happen if you're on the 8th grade, and then again on 8th grade the next morning, which is that Friday morning. Both of you guys, Friday mornings is when you'll head back on our way back home, and we will get the 8th grade. You're going to get back closer to that 8 to 9 time. Actually, now I think of it, I need to stress that we're probably going to get home around the same time. Normally, now 7th grade is normally an hour closer that we sleep, and they're the same. So never mind. So scratch that 7th grade parents. It's probably going to be closer to 8 o'clock we're getting in. It's just the way it is because we are driving and kids have to go pee all the time, and it's just the way it is. Okay, so there's those things. Now, a couple things for you to understand and be aware of, okay? We have, first of all, Taylor's been really good to put it up there. If you want to follow action, what's going on, we have a hashtag. If you follow us on Instagram, follow us. If you don't follow us, okay? And we have a hashtag Whitewater Hype, especially the way up. We're going to be posting a lot of pictures. Whenever we see any cell service at all, pictures will get posted like crazy. On the way back, you will see tons of pictures. If you are checking it out, you will experience that. Also, for those of you that, I shouldn't say those of you, all of you should do this. We have an updating thing that'll tell us when we're going to get back. It'll update what's going on. And here's what you need to do, is you need to text either at 7th AWW if you are a 7th grade parent, okay, or at 8th AWW to 81010 for camp updates. You know what? If you have a cell phone right now sometime, we're going to leave this up the rest of the meeting. I would just do that right now. And then what's going to happen is you will get all our updates. We will try to update the first 2 days. There might be updates on there, but for sure the last 2 days we're heading down on the river and we have cell service and all that. You will get updates of where we are, how we're doing, all that stuff. And then it will also let you know, no way, we're going to actually be early. This has never happened in the history of Whitewater. Get here at 7. Or, hey, sorry, something happened on the freeway and we're stuck, so it's going to be 9:30. You know, whatever it is, you will get all those updates for us, okay? Now, wanted to let you know about cell phones. I have parents go, are my students allowed to bring cell phones? Let me tell you how that works. They are welcome to bring cell phones, but here's the thing is, we will not let them use them while they're in the car. They can get in trouble, get them taken away, because we want them to hang out with the students in the car. Because remember I told you, those first 2 days is pivotal for them creating these relationships, so when we get on the river, we're ready to go. But they will be allowed to use them at our stops. Well, guess what? We stop a lot, okay? In fact, it's frustrating for our drivers who just want to get there, but we stop probably every hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours for bathroom breaks. So they're allowed to get out. They're allowed to call you if you're worried, and I just want to make sure you're doing fine. They can call you that time. But I will let you know something. Once we get up there, the cell phones do not work on the river. We have no cell service, and we're right next to water. Okay? Now, some of us have the new cell phones. There's like a few of us that are now starting to get these ones that are waterproof, but most of them are not waterproof, okay? And so I'm going to leave it in your hands, but you're welcome. This is crazy, but parents, if you want to get your son or daughter a calling card, there are payphones on the way. I know they've never used one before, but this might be an incredible time to learn how to use a payphone. It might be great. All right? And calling cards work great. They really do. You're going to have to train them and practice a couple times, but, it's up to you. And so I'm going to leave that up to you with how that works, okay? But we will allow them to take those with them on the trip, just so you know. Now, if you go to the front page, I want to go through this front page with you real quick, okay? So I'm going to try to breeze through this, because this is something that you can go home and read, but I'm worried you won't, because if you're like me, I guess, once I leave, I'm like, okay, I already experienced it, so we're going to try to go through it real quick so you get all the information. One is students. This is for you, but parents, so you know what's going on. Students, always wear your seatbelt when you're in our vehicles. That is very important. Safety-wise, it is the law, so you have to do it. It is way more safe if anything ever happened. It protects you. And then thirdly, your leaders, your driver can get huge tickets if you aren't. So if you're like, well, I don't care about myself, well, you're going to also jack your leader, okay? Because it's funny, but police, when they're pulling up by the vans, that's what they're looking for, because they can see them. There's big straps, and they're like, there's kids in there. We're going to nail this driver. So please do that. Please help your drivers out, students, by whatever they're saying. They're not going to make you do crazy stuff, but you need to follow their instructions while they're in there. We need to watch levels. I don't care if you're loud, but if the minute the driver's like, hey, it's a little too loud, it's time to calm it down a little bit, okay? This is very important. When we stop to go to the bathroom, you have to go to the bathroom. Even if you don't have to go, you need to try. Because here's the unfortunate part when you have 165 people. We stop at rest stops. Or when we stop at restaurant places, there'll be like 5 or 6 restaurants that they're able to go and go get food at. We can actually do 165 of us at a rest stop as long as they didn't close like 2 of the stalls. Sometimes that miraculously happens when we get there, okay? But we can do a bathroom stop in like 20 to 25 minutes, no problem. We have to stop an emergency at McDonald's. Something happens. Only 2 kids had to go to the bathroom, but the minute we stop, now 20, 30, 40, and McDonald's can't handle us, so all of a sudden that 25-minute stop becomes an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. I know, I've experienced it. It is not fun, okay? So please go to the bathroom. Please, please, please. It's important. Students, always make sure you get the okay before you get out of a van, because there might be something we think is a stop, but you don't understand. I'm giving instructions on the CB of what's going on, and you're already out the door, and you already forgot what time you're supposed to be back, or maybe you were never supposed to get out, whatever it is. So please don't get out of the van until you are told you're allowed to get out of the van. Okay, now, this could happen. And I'm sorry, because you don't understand, one of my spiritual gifts is trying to make your students happy and trying to make sure they're in the perfect van. And I lose sleep over it. I work, and God's given me this gift that you can actually, if you give me like 10 minutes, I might be able to solve the problem that makes everyone happy, but I need 10 minutes. But here's what happens is, there is a slight chance that somehow I'm going to mess up, and on that morning when you get your van assignment, somehow your son or daughter got in the wrong van. Okay? I need you to not panic. Okay? I need you to come lightly and tell me. And then I need you to give me time to figure out the solution. And it might be that you have to be in that van for a while, and then guess what I'm going to do the whole drive, the first hour and a half, while I'm trying to get us to the Magic Mountain stop, is I'm going to be trying to think, how do I solve that problem? And I will solve it. You just need to give me time. Okay? So you need to bear with me, but otherwise, once you're in that van, you're not allowed to switch, because I need to know where you are, because I have this list that I know exactly who's in what van and everything. In fact, I have a photographic memory, and that's how I remember who's even on the trip, because I can go, oh, on page 2 on this corner, that's who you are. Okay, sorry, I should know you by face, but I know you better on paper. Okay, so you're not allowed to switch. Okay, you have to come talk to me, because I need to know what's going on. Okay. Once we arrive to our campsite, I told you we're at Paradise Point, or when we arrive at the churches, you need to make sure you help us unload before we do anything else. Parents, we sleep under the stars. At the church, we sleep indoors, but at Adventure Whitewater, we sleep under the stars. It's pretty amazing. We bring like 12 of these huge tarps, and we put like 4 or 5 on each side for the girls. Girls are way over here, 4 or 5 for the boys, way over here. And then sometimes we will have one tarp that's right next to the boys for the guy leaders, because sometimes they can't handle being in the middle of all the students. And we have one big tarp for the girl leaders that's right next to the girls. And we sleep under the stars, and literally they are probably almost from here to the edge that far apart. Okay? We're out in the open. You know what's great about in the open? We see everything. Okay, so it's a great thing. We're out in the open. Some of you go, but what happens if it rains? Okay, that could happen. We'll figure it out. Okay, only once did it rain so bad that it caught us off guard, that it cut our trip short by one day, and we had to figure it out, and we just had fun in Sacramento doing crazy stuff, you know. But that's rare. We got it under control. We know what we're doing. Okay, but we are sleeping on the stars. It is awesome. But whenever we do that, just make sure that you're helping us load and getting ready, okay? Whenever we leave campsites, whenever we leave a campsite, it is important, students, that you pack up your stuff as quickly as possible. And parents, I know you're worried. You're like, oh my goodness, mine's going to be the one that's like the last minute. Yes, there are some that are that way. And guess what? Yeah, they are frustrating, okay? And I already know the 7th grade ones that are going on the 8th grade trip that I'm like, dang it, okay? But we suffer through that, okay? And I've learned how to do it. But get your stuff quickly, and then make sure it's loaded, okay? Just because you packed it up and you put it by the tree does not mean it got in the trailer. We were leaving Adventure Whitewater, and there was a tree that was 150 feet from the trailer. It's a different thing if the tree's right next to the trailer, and we're leaving, and someone on the CB says, hey, is that some of our students' gear right by that tree over there? And you're like, which tree? The tree? What the heck? So we had to stop, and we're like, whose stuff is like the students? Like, oh, it's mine. And we're like, we almost left all their gear at Adventure Whitewater, and it's a 2-day trip. So mom and dad do not want to go back and get it, and I don't know what we're going to do. So please make sure it just gets loaded, gets in the exact area so you are good, okay? Yes, so we'll talk through that. At Paradise Point, just so you guys know, in the mornings, it's pretty awesome. We get up in the morning, Adventure Whitewater cooks food for us. It's really exciting. Then we have a morning meeting where we'll do worship in the morning. We're all tired, but we get to just worship God in the nice, brisk morning. And it's not too hot yet, because it's going to probably be in the 90s up there. It's a little calm. And then we do small groups in the morning. Then right after that, we get all our lotion on and sunscreen and all that, make sure we're ready to go, and then we take off. And then at night, after dinner, normally around 8 o'clock, 8:15, we do our night meeting. And that is also worship. And then we have a speaker coming up. And right now, we have a guy named James Cavalier. He's one of our college pastors. We'll be teaching for the 8th grade. And right now, students, you're stuck, but it's right now on the docket, it's me to teach 7th grade. It's going to be so much fun. So that could change. That could change. I'm sorry, but I am planning on it. The reason I say that there's someone else that we might be, I just didn't want to lie to you, so it could change. But I'm planning on speaking, and I'm excited about it. On the river, students, just if you can help me out, make sure you listen for your rafting assignments. So parents, here's what's going on. We are so large. Remember I told you that arranging thing, that spiritual gift God gave me? I have to split our youth group into 3 groups and have the drivers split up the exact way that we split our drivers into 3, but make sure they still are with their favorite kid, their son or daughter, if they have a son or daughter. Make sure the leaders are with whoever it needs to be. And we have 3 stretches of the river, and we actually have each day a different group on each river, and then I make sure they hit every stretch throughout the whole week, and everything's perfect, and we're making sure all the loading's going on because of how big we are. We're not allowed to have 165 on one stretch, or else we'll get kicked off the river. So we can only have, I think, up to 60 on a stretch. And so we're almost hitting those numbers that we're almost over those now. So students, I'm not worried if you get in the wrong rafting group. You get to raft, you just don't get to be with your friends. And you're like, dang, that was the whole point. So you need to listen to your rafting groups and make sure you get in the right van. And then, okay, that's great. Embarrassing-wise, getting down here, dropping my sheet here. Okay, so so just help me out with that, because then our numbers will be off a little bit. So check that out for us. Always listening to your rafting guides when you're up there. They are going to go over, we do a huge safety thing the first morning. One thing I forgot to note, parents, is our rafting guides, I like to brag about them because you see the owner of the company, his name's Ryan Allred. He is a legend in the rafting world. He has been guiding for over 20-something years. His crew of guys, when he was in his mid to late 20s, won the national championships for rafting 6 years in a row. They were second in the world one year, which is amazing because the top 3 that always win the world championships, they're paid for a living to just practice to win the national championship, where America, they don't have an American team. It's just guides getting together, and they got second in the world. They are amazing. He is a legend in South America and in Africa on some of the largest rivers in the world. He has never flipped, and so he's a legend because of that. Because even the best guides in the world flip on some of these trips, because it's just, that's going to happen. He has never. He is a legend. And so he trains those guys. We have amazing guides. There isn't very many. In fact, last year, they're in their 40s, or 2 years ago, they decided, hey, let's see if we can win the national title again. And so they got all these guys in their 40s. They were all a little overweight. They were trying to get in shape, and they still got second in the national championships, okay? And I think if they would have been in shape, they probably would have won, because they said they just barely lost by about, I think, like 5-10 seconds, which is nothing in the rafting world. So it was crazy. So there you go, making you feel comfortable. Students, if there's anything wrong, you must go to your small group leader first. Go to them. If not, then you can go to your directors, and you guys should know who they are, and we'll explain those. Or you can go to myself, Taylor, who's in the back. He'll be at both trips. Shara will be at both trips. Students, most of you know them. If you're new, come, just find me, okay? Come find me, and we'll go from there. All right, check-in process. I already talked about that, so we are good. And then look there's the camp updates. I didn't even need to have it up there because it's on the bottom. No way, I did not know that Taylor added that. Taylor, you're amazing. Okay, so some more things. Next thing is go to this things to bring list. We're almost done, but not quite, but we're almost done, okay? So this sheet right here, the reason why we do this meeting so early is it gives you time to go buy stuff. And I'm sorry, parents, I need to maybe put a disclaimer. Don't buy anything until you come to the meeting, because I might save you money, okay? So here's how it works. You can see your stuff must fit in one medium-sized suitcase and one carry-on backpack-like bag. I want you to understand something. First of all, your sleeping bag does not have to fit in your luggage. That's all right. But it says a medium-sized suitcase. Here's what I want to suggest is, it says medium-sized suitcase, but if you want to bring a duffel bag, it can be as big as you want. If your kid can fit in a duffel bag, that's all right with me, okay? That is okay, because a duffel bag, it can be like smushed and it can kind of fit in little corners. Those suitcases, you start bringing these huge suitcases, which you don't need. I'm going to explain to you what to pack. You're going to find out you don't need a large duffel bag. If anything, you have a large duffel bag because you put everybody's sleeping bag in your duffel bag. You know what I'm saying? So that is the best, is a duffel bag is better. But if you have to bring a suitcase, please make it a medium-sized one, or even maybe like the one that you're allowed to take on the carry-on in the planes would be better, because that makes it easier, because we're taking so many people and we'll only have 2 trailers to fit them in. Okay? You want to bring a backpack type bag to carry with you in the vans. Okay? This is important. In that backpack, you would have your money. You would maybe have a sweatshirt, which you might never ever use, but it's nice for a safety just in case, because you're going to be in the van all day on these trips. You would have maybe water in there. In fact, those hydro flask stuff is an incredible investment to have on this trip. They work the best. You could have that in there. You could have some snacks in there and stuff like that, and we'll talk through that. But that'll go in your van with you, okay? Do not pack your money in your bag that goes into the luggage. Keep your wallet in your backpack, okay? It's very important. Bible, pen, sleeping bag must be tied up and rolled up, okay? But does not need to be in the duffel bag. It can be separate. Okay, a smart idea is a lot of people, which is very smart, will put it in a trash bag, which keeps it clean as it's being thrown all over the place. And then also you can write your name on that trash bag, and then it's easy to find. It's so awesome. It's a great idea. They may have a sleeping mat or foam pad, okay? Now I put on there no air mattresses. No cots, no air mattresses. Air mattresses, when I say air mattress, know the air mattress where you have to have this and blow it up and all that stuff. Now, here's the thing, students, you need to know this. I let my adults bring air mattresses and cots. And so they're like, no, that's unfair. No, listen, I'm getting old, and if I sleep on the ground, you will have a mad Trav, not a thin Trav anymore. You will have a mad Trav that'll be so upset every day you don't want to live with me, okay? So I need to have some type of cushion between me and the ground. But listen, when I was 18 is the first trip I went on, or 19, I could sleep on the rocks and I was fine. And so guess what? You can sleep on the rocks, but we're not on rocks. But I'm just saying, you could, okay? But students, you are allowed to bring those camping ones that they roll up, but you like open a little knob and air kind of goes in them, and those are actually nice to have, and you can get those at Walmart, I think, and stuff like that. Or the coolest one actually is you're allowed to bring those egg crate ones, they call it egg foam mats or whatever, and you can go to UFO, which is on Melrose down here, and you can actually buy one of those, and they're not that expensive, and those are kind of cool. They're actually more comfortable, but it's up to you. So those are ideas. But parents, if you're like, I already just shelled out $400, $410, and then there's money for spending, I'm not buying that. You don't need to. They're fine, okay? So don't worry about it. I'm just saying if you want to, okay? It depends how much you love them and how much money you have. Those are 2 big things, okay? Next thing is a pillow for sure. I have sturdy plastic plate, knife, fork, and spoon. Now listen, once we get up there, we don't have to cook the meals. They cook them for us, but we have to have our own utensils and stuff, okay? So here's the thing that's the best thing to do is you can either go to Walmart, okay, and Walmart will have in their dining section, but it's like the cheap one, the camping one, they will have like, actually I wouldn't even go in the camping section, they will have like plastic plates, even some huge ones for like 88 cents or 97 cents or whatever. Get one of those ones that you're like, hey, when you're done, just throw it away, okay, whatever. Those are great to get. Or if you have an old plate at home, you're like, oh, take this. It's great. And then silverware. The best is if you have a pair of old silverware, they're like, I don't care if you lose it, take that. Second best option is to buy, it's going to be crazy, buy a 12-pack of forks, knives, and spoons, the plastic ones. So when they break, they just pull out another one, or they can just have one for each meal. You know what I'm saying? That's another option. A third option is Walmart. I haven't seen it recently, but I'm also not shopping for that. But they used to have a plastic sturdy, nice knife, fork, and spoon set for like $1.19 or something like that. That was really sturdy, and I just had that. Now, if I lost it, I wasn't too worried. So, but you want to get something like that. You're starting to see the theme. Walmart's a good place to go for this, okay? They need a Tupperware type cup, which parents, one suggestion is on their meal stops, have them supersize one time, and then they get those nice, some of the restaurants have the nice, sturdier now, plastic cups if you get the highest, extra supersize whatever, and that could be the cup. Or, like I said, and I just forgot the name for it, but the Hydro Flask, thank you, works great. And that'd be great too. They can have water on the rapids with them, and then they can have that to fill up their punch or water when they're having meals. Okay? I put on here food money for 8 meals. Okay? I put roughly $50 to $60. I don't know exactly how much. 60 should be fine, but you might be okay with 40, but I would err on the side of 60 because here's the thing is, the value meals have gone up. Okay, it used to be you could get a meal for $5. No, now you go to like somewhere and it's like 7 something. You're like, what the heck? So there's 8 meals. Now, the coolest thing is sometimes the breakfasts are a lot cheaper, but some of you are panicking because we do 4 meals on the way up and 4 on the way back, and you're like, oh my goodness, if I give them $60, yes, you're starting to see this, and they spend it all on the first day. They're not eating for the last 2 days coming down, okay? This is a great opportunity for you students to learn how to budget, okay? How to like go, dang, I got a lot of money left. No, you don't really, because that's for the last 2 days coming back down and those kind of things. So some of you parents are thinking this and you're like, Trav, but you do not know my son and daughter. They are Jack, they're gonna starve. They might die on the way back of starvation. So if you're worried about that, I'm gonna help you out. You are welcome to do I call it the Ziploc bag system, and you could have 8 Ziploc bags that you put money in each one, and you put meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, all the way. Now listen, you're like, Trav, that's genius. Yes, and then I'm gonna help you out next year, because here's the thing. We stop in the first day 8 times, and the first year we did this, students thought, wait, we still have more meal stops? I already spent like 6 of mine, and we're like, we only stopped at 2 meal stops. Yeah, but we stopped, there was the vending machine there, and it's like, oh my goodness, so guess what? Every time we stop for a meal stop, I get on the CB and I say, this is meal stop number 1. Get out your number 1 baggie. This is meal stop number 4. This is meal stop number 4, don't forget. And they can go, oh, that's right, where's 4, where's 4? So I'm helping you out, okay, if you're worried about that, okay? There you go. We are stopping a lot of places, so if you want to give them a little bit extra money that they're like, this is for the vending machine, this is for the gas station stop, whatever it is, you're welcome to do that, but they don't need that. They do need mosquito repellent, waterproof sunblock. We will be putting waterproof sunblock on before we go on the rapids, like at 10 o'clock every morning, and then we will normally have, we put in our dry bags, we try to put 1 or 2 things of sunscreen, and we get off at lunch, which is normally around 1, we make everybody reapply, or we tell them all, reapply, and normally about 60 to 70% do, but we do have an opportunity for them to do that. Lip balm with SPF is great. Moisturizer and skin lotion for those of you that need that. I do not use that, but that's on there. Outdoor clothes, shorts and t-shirts. Listen to this. We live in our board shorts most of the trip, so I bring 2 pairs of board shorts, and I bring 3 pairs of shorts, and I bring a shirt for every day, and I still don't use a shirt for every day because one of my shirts becomes my rafting shirt that I wear every day on the rapids because it gets wet. And then at night, I rarely ever use all 7 shirts, okay? And then I'll bring 1 pair of pants just in case it's cold, or a pair of sweatpants that might be nice at night to have. So that's all I wear right there the whole week. Yes, it's nice to have 7 pairs of underwear. It's nice to have, socks, stuff like that, okay? Even though some of your kids will not use 7 pairs, believe it or not. They need a sweatshirt or jacket just in case. Like I said, that can go in their backpack on the way up. Clothes to sleep in is nice. Girls, a modest 1-piece or tankini, swimsuits only. We're trying to be modest here. Parents, I'm sorry if you're like, dang it, I just bought them new summer swimsuits, and I wish I would have known that, and I would have got that. I apologize, and I apologize, another expense. You can find them at Amazon, not too bad now. Amazon's a lifesaver now. Walmart sometimes have them, we only have like 1 choice. Amazon has a lot more. I know that because my wife found some last night. So then I would say, put on their board shorts. Girls, even you want to have some type of short to go over your bathing suit. Something. because we're sitting on rafts, and you can totally get, it's just not comfortable. It's nice to have a bathing suit a board short of some sort. 2 towels, one for showers and one for swimming. Toothbrush, toothpaste, toiletries, deodorant, please. Okay. 7th graders. There's this thing, it's called deodorant, okay? And I know you think, but that like my kids, Dad, I don't think I need it yet. No, you need it, okay? So here's the thing is, actually, you know what? You probably don't need it, but we're just gonna use this week just for the heck of it, okay? So we're gonna use it every day. We're gonna get used to it, so when we become high schoolers and we need it every day, we're already trained. We're pros, okay? So we're gonna practice that. It's gonna be amazing, okay? We're all gonna do it. Girls, you too, okay? 1 roll of toilet paper. I put that just in case. They have, I'm sorry, but once we get up there, we live in outhouses. They have like 6 or 7 outhouses that their caretaker cleans every day. So they're not terrible, but they are outhouses, and it's nice to have toilet paper just in case something comes up. It's nice to have that. A flashlight is nice. A hat that can get lost, because we're going to wear them on the rapids to keep the sun off us, but we're also jumping in there and fighting all that, and we could lose it. So don't bring your favorite hat. Baby wipes. You don't have to get this, but they're cheap. $119, $137, I don't know, but baby wipes are a lifesaver. I love to bring a thing of baby wipes, and then it just makes me feel better when I go in the outhouse that I can wipe the whole outhouse down before I go to the bathroom. It's amazing, and so it's a lifesaver for me. And then also it becomes a great thing to wash my hands or my feet or something. Just makes me feel better. So baby wipes are amazing. They're so cheap. Okay, they're allowed to bring sandals to wear around camp. It's nice to have a pair of shoes. So here's what they kind of need. They need 3 types of footwear. Well, no. They only need 2 technically, but I would suggest 3. A pair of shoes for the car ride, some sandals to wear around camp, and then they need what's called their rafting shoe. Now here's the thing is, the rafting shoe, we don't allow them to have Tevas, Chacos, those ones that they have straps on them, but they're sandals, even though you would think they'd work great for rafting. And we will let our leaders, I tell my leaders, I'm going to let you use it, but you don't understand. Here's the thing is, we're walking on rocks and all this stuff, and I wear them. I'm stupid, but I want to look cool, and I want a tan on my feet or something like that. So I wear these sandals, but I tell you right now, every day I jack up my toes. Every day. Well, I can't afford to have a student now is crying about their toes, and then a leader cannot guide that day, or actually 2 leaders, because we won't leave a leader alone with your student. So now 2 leaders have to stay back and not go on the river because somebody hurt their toes. So they have to have a closed-toed shoe, and the best is an old pair of shoes. And they would take 1 pair of socks that's designated their rafting sock that they would put on underneath the shoe. You have this old pair of shoes, and it can have holes in it, but it has to lace up. And actually, they're way more comfortable. Yes, they're waterlogged. They're not the most comfortable on dry land, but when you're in the water, you hit a rock, you don't feel anything. It is the best shoe. Now, some people ask, what about the water shoes? Listen, here's the problems. There are water shoes that sound cool, but we've had kids get them sucked off in some of the rapids. Like their foot's just sticking out there, and they're like, oh my goodness, and they lost them. It's just not worth it, okay? But I will leave that up to you, okay? So don't worry about that. Some optional stuff is this. Cameras, you're welcome to bring some. We are taking a photographer on both trips that will be taking pictures. We will have a video guy taking footage both weeks. But they're welcome to bring those. There's those waterproof plastic ones that are really cool, but just write your name on them, because a lot of times we'll find them at the end of the week and then we have no clue whose they are. They can bring a rash guard, is actually great. Sunglasses. They don't need to bring sunglasses because they're going to get ruined, so give them an extra $1 and we stop off at the 99-cent store in Wairika and they can buy a cheap pair of sunglasses. Now, if they lose them, who cares, okay? And guess what? Another 99 cents buys the thing that holds them on. So sweet, okay. Extra spending money if they want. Traveling games. They're allowed to bring games to play in the van with friends. It's awesome. Dramamine if they get sick. I told you about the water bottle. Guess what? You're allowed to bring candy and snacks. We just ask that you share. If you want to be a rock star and everyone loves you in the group, bring candy and snacks to share, and everyone will be your best friend, okay? But you can put that thing, just things not to bring. We don't want you bringing iPads. We don't want you bringing any electronics, pretty much. And then there's some other stupid things in there. But yes, we've had kids bring weapons, knives. We don't allow it, even if it's a little pocket knife, or ask me if you need to get approved by it. But we just don't need to bring those things. No fireworks. We've had people bring them. No water toys anymore, because it becomes a problem. No attitudes or anything you can't replace. Okay. A couple more things. I'm sorry, parents. I'm trying to rush through this. Is this? Take nothing valuable that your kids can't live without. Okay. Don't bring new clothes. Don't bring your favorite clothes. Nothing that could get ruined or destroyed. Another thing is this. Parents, just to give you a heads up, Adventure Whitewater sells sweatshirts, t-shirts, and hats up there. I want you to understand something. Only about 20 to 40%, and that's a loose theme, but I'm trying to tell you it's not more than half. It's less than half, and sometimes a lot less than half. Buy them. But if you have that son or daughter that they're going to be mad at you, like, if you just would have given me extra money, I really wanted this, and you're like, okay, you might want to pack them extra money, but you need to understand they're not cheap. T-shirts are like $15, sweatshirts are $30. Okay, they are nicer, but they're just not cheap, and hats are like $12 to $15. I'm telling you, don't need to give them money. I'm just letting you know they have those out there. Okay, baptisms. 8th grade will be doing baptisms this year. Okay, 7th grade will not. It becomes one of those things that it is a neat experience. It's a beautiful place. My 8th grade son has been waiting for the last 7 years to get baptized up at Whitewater. He can't wait. It's going to be amazing. But on the flip side is, if you want to be there, tell them not to get baptized. Say, please wait for me. Please, 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 I'm a son. Or have that conversation now. Because I don't want to come back and then you're mad at me and we're like, I gave you that chance. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, like, we can't have a cell phone. Go call them real quick. No, we're on the river, okay? And I want you to know it is beautiful, and there's going to be a lot of pressure because some of their friends are going to do it. And we're trying to convince them, hey, just because their friends are does not mean you do it, but just talk to them about that. We will let you know there's going to be an opportunity in the next 5 months where we're going to do a baptism here at the church just for junior high. We might even have 2 in the next year. We're starting to do this more. So there are opportunities for you to see your son or daughter get baptized. So just letting you know on that, okay? Okay, so let me see what else I missed. We do have medics. 8th grade trip, we have a doctor coming. He was an ER doctor that now he's not, I wouldn't say retired, because now all he does is travel and do ER work. It's kind of cool, but he's professionally retired. He's on the trip. The 7th grade trip, we have a fireman and going on the trip. And then we also have a medic who's been our medic for the last 3 or 4 years. And so going on the trip, the only way the fireman could be a problem is he's right now fighting some of these forest fires, but he thinks he'll be fine in the next 2 weeks. But yeah, so we have definitely people taken care of over there. Medication, if you have medication for your son or daughter, when we go to check in that morning, I'm sorry, parents, but now after you check in, we'll show you where the medic is, and you're going to have to go talk to them to give them medication that they can to talk through and stuff like that, okay? And they'll take care of that, okay? Students, for you, couple things, real quick. Participate in everything we do, okay? If you're not participating in everything we do, that means that it's just really hard on us. It really is. We need you. If we're going rafting, go rafting. Don't be like, well, I'm not. It's like, okay, that means we might have to send you home because now I can't just every day cater to you. I have to cater to the 165 people. So you must participate in everything we do. Meals. Students, you must eat at every meal. Even if you're not hungry, then fine, eat a little bit of an apple. But you must eat. Parents, just so you know, we haven't had any problems with it more recently, but we would have times with students, unfortunately, mostly girls, that this would be a time for them to lose weight sometimes, or if they're showing something because of that and we don't know what's going on and all that stuff, that is one opportunity. If they are showing that, that'll be a phone call, potentially could be sent home, okay? Another thing is be on your best behavior. No practical jokes at all, none. Unfortunately, you think a practical joke is fun, but someone always gets hurt. So no shaving cream in the sleeping bag. No X-Lax. We had kids who found old X-Lax that we have no clue that was on the side of the river and actually tried to put it in a liter's drink. And luckily we caught onto it, but we don't know. It could have been more serious damage than just stomach issues. Just none at all. No teeping, this person's whatever, blah, blah, blah. We just don't allow that kind of stuff. So don't even bring it. We're going to have so much fun. It doesn't matter. It's just going to be so much fun. Students, 2 more things. You must respect my leaders. Okay? Parents, so you know when it comes to discipline, we won't touch your son or daughter. We won't. So here's the problem is all I have is my respect. And students, you can hear this, but it would be an easy mutiny for all the students to go, well, we're not going to listen to you, and that's fine. Then we're going to fly them all home at your expense. And then, sweet, we'll just fly home in the car. Just all the leaders would be great. But that's not going to happen. But students, you must respect my leaders. You must respect them. And students, here's what I'll say. If you think it's unfair, guess what? Trav is really a nice guy, and you can listen to my leaders and then come down and say, I felt like that was unfair, and I'll figure it out. But at that moment, I don't want you being disrespectful, because that will get you sent home. And I will tell you right now, flying out of Medford is one of the more expensive airports around, and so it's probably going to be a 250 to 350 flight one way, okay? So please respect them. The last thing is this, students, no complaining. Okay, it's crazy for us. We could have a van have a tire thing that we have to pull over. One time we had a truck that was pulling our trailer, the engine blew kind of, and we had to take off without, and then we got to our stop, but we didn't have the luggage, and then eventually the truck got there at 4 a.m, but where we were sleeping, it was 102, and we were gonna sleep outside, and we just slept on the ground. It was crazy, but we did it, and it was crazy. It ended up being the best trip ever because no one complained. And then it was the best story. The year that we had the one-time rain jacked us up, it became the best story ever, and now students are like, I was at that trip. So please, no complaint. It's contagious and it ruins your trip. Let's become people that when, we get a little curveball thrown at us, we adjust and we grow and we end up doing some amazing things. Okay? Parents, things that you need to know about this trip. 1 is be praying, praying, praying. We are taking 13 vehicles on each trip. We have been doing, like I've said, I've done 22 years, my 22nd year, and 30-something trips, and God has protected us. We have never had a serious anything except on the little roads. We had a deer run and bump into us, not ruin our car. Not cause any not cause us to do anything stupid, but yes, kind of put a dent on the side of the van. The van won, it was bigger. But that's probably the most serious thing we've ever had happen in 22 years and over 30-something trips that I have been on. And I believe that's because, 1, I'm such a great driver. No, I'm just kidding. Because of prayer. I do believe God answers prayer, and I think we are bathed so much in prayer that God actually has angels that are just protecting us because that's what he's done these last few years. And I believe in prayer, and so if you can just be praying for us. So parents, be doing that for us. Otherwise, we are pretty much done. We're actually starting students in 2 minutes. I'm going to be sending you over. So parents, a couple things. 1, if you have forms to turn in or any questions when it comes to I owe this much money, Jan is going to be outside at our welcome booth to answer any questions. If you came tonight and you have not signed up for camp, and you're like, well, I want to go sign up for camp, you can go do that. There are still some spots. There's 2 or 3 spots for 8th grade, and we have about 18 to 20 spots for 7th graders. So that can still happen, and you can go do that with her, and she can take care of it. 7th grade, you actually sign up online, but you can do that with her. Any of those things, you can go have those needs met. If you have questions for me, I'm going to stay here for a few minutes. I probably have about 5-7 minutes, and we can talk about individual needs, and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible and get you guys on your way. Otherwise, thank you so much. I'm sorry it took so long, but we'll see you either the 21st or the 29th, ready to send your students off to the time of their life. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.